Hey everyone, it's the Angry Honey Badger, and I'm taking a look at another champion today. I'm going to be looking at Malzahar in the mid lane, going up against the enemy team Karthus. At level 1, I typically take his Malefic Vision at level 1. It's easy to put on the enemy champion. It makes him use a health pot damn near immediately, too, because of the damage that it does. At level 2, then I do take a Call of the Void, and then I go back to Malefic at 3, and then Call of the Void again at level 4, and then a Null Zone at level 5 right before I get my ultimate, because you are going to be comboing together your Null Zone and your Nether Grasp, which is your ultimate. What's that going to do for you? It's going to put down that area that does a percentage of health per second while they're sitting in your ultimate, so it's going to do tons of damage. So we're going to see that done shortly. Other than that, though, that's how I start the beginning, and then at level 1, I also do start with a Boots and Pots. It's going to be easy to sustain for me in lane, so I do not die using a pot right now, and then the Boots are going to be great to have a little bit more mobility, so I don't have to worry about enemy junglers ganking as much. I'll have that little bit of move speed, which is very helpful to have. I also do tend to take Summoner Flash and Ignite with Malzahar. Now here, I'm level 6, so it's time to initiate the ult. So I'm going to move in. I'm actually going to flash to him, put down my Null Zone, and then I'm going to use my Nether Grasp. So the flash, use the Null Zone, and then the Nether Grasp. He's sitting in that just eating tons of damage. And right before he flashed away, I was able to put a Malefic Visions on him, which will tick down the rest of his health and kill him easily. Not too much of a problem there. So, the very first thing then after I get all of those abilities up to level 6 is then I finish maxing out my Malefic Visions and then Call of the Void and then Null Zone. If you want to do that in a slightly different manner, you can, but that's just the way I do that. It seems to work out really well. In case you also do not know, with Malzahar, I tend to get the Malefic Visions because you can easily reward yourself with the mana back early game, so you can sustain yourself in lane with mana. When you put it on an enemy minion and it kills it, then it jumps to another one, and if it kills that, it keeps jumping around, and it keeps bouncing off. It keeps moving from enemy to enemy. So what it does, too, when it does kill something, it gives you a little bit of mana back, so it's easy to stay in lane that way and keep your mana up. So another thing it does, like I said, is when it jumps around is if the enemy team's mid does not understand this concept very well, it's going to jump to them all the time. This Karthus did not seem to understand that that's how this works with Malzahar, so he would be at way too close to the minions, move up, and then it would jump to him after his minions would die. And that's you got to pay attention to that. So if you don't know that, you got to really pay attention that it does not jump to you there. I think it's going to jump to Tristana for a split second because she also was not paying attention. And that'll do a lot of damage if that's the first thing you're maxing out, so which is what I do. Here I'm going to move in again. I'm going to put that on him, and then I'm probably going to move in then with the Null Zone again and the Nether Grasp because he's at half life because that Malefic Vision does plenty of damage. I think I'm going to put this Null Zone down, get him trapped right on the edge of it, and I think that alone is going to be enough to kill him. Yep, got one more tick off on that Null Zone before he was able to flash, so not only did he burn his flash, but he dies as well. So, kind of getting ahead of Karthus in farming and definitely in kills, which I'm going to use to my advantage. The first time I did go back, I finished my boots off just to have some mobility, which is nice, and then I bought a health crystal. This time I did finish off my catalyst, and I bought a blasting wand. I'm going to be building my very first item as a Rod of Ages. It's going to be good to get a little bit of that mana, and it's also going to be very good to get the health and the mana. Oh, all that fun stuff. So, that's my first key item with Malzahar. It's just going to be good. I don't need too much mana immediately early game because he does do plenty of damage, and because of my rune page setup, which is Magic Pen Marks, AP Quintessences, AP per level Glyphs, and Mana Regen per level Seals. Those are really good for staying in lane for a long time. You have plenty of mana regen. I never have issues, really, when I'm playing champions with mana problems. So, yeah, all that fun stuff. I'm also pushing lane a little bit hard just to make sure that I can keep my minions going up to it and doing damage to his tower. Also, when I'm pushing my lane forward and making my minions push his tower, they're dying to the tower, and he's losing out on farm that way. So here I'm going to move in again. He's going to flash out of it, but luckily I was able to get the ult up, and that alone is going to be enough to kill him, because your ultimate does lots of damage. Now, its base damage stats aren't actually that high. They're good, but they're not really high. But it's his AP percentage on top of the standard damage with it. So he gets an actual 130% boost of his current AP on top of his ultimate. So That's a lot of damage late game. It does 550 once you max it out to level 3, and then let's say you have 600 AP, which isn't that outlandish. You're going to be doing well over 1200 damage, well over, with your ultimate alone. So you get somebody sitting with your Null Zone and your Nether Grasp, you're going to be doing tons of damage. As for my Masteries page, oh, here we're going to kill him again, put that on him. Maybe just ult him, probably going to be enough to kill him. Just going to ult him real quick, take a couple tower hits, that's fine. And going to walk away from that. So, kind of getting fed against him. He needs to have somebody come gank, but no dice for him, really. So, I'm going to take his tower as well. But as for my Masteries page, typically go with a pretty standard AP mid page with the 2190, or if it's your thing, you can do the 2109. So, but make sure you get that 21 in the offensive tree so you can get all of the bonuses that you can, so you are more powerful as a mage. So, that's what we're going to be doing there. So, last time I did go back, bought another Blasting Wand. Still have a health pot on me just for some safety reasons, obviously, probably from the beginning of the game, but it's always nice to have those. Here, I'm going to come gank bottom because I don't have a tower to push. Hit that first mushroom, and hit that second mushroom, and they're still not retreating that fast. So, I'm going to actually flash in here, use my ultimate on Tristana. Going to kill her real quick. She tried to rocket jump, and then I'm going to also kill the Jace real quick for a quick, easy double kill. Got the silence on the Teemo. Not going to be enough to kill him, though, and he's going to get away, but not too bad. I got 2 more kills, so we're definitely doing good there. We pushed bottom lane tower down, and we're going to also take dragon. So lots of income coming in for me, and plenty of gold, doing really well, and getting really fed. So, which is a lot easier now with Malzahar, considering they fixed him in the last patch, so his Null Zone comes up, and it's easier to get off to just kind of combo all of his abilities together. So he's very strong once you get used to playing him. I used to play him a little bit way back. He was one of actually the very first champions I played in League when he was on free rotation. I didn't own like anyone. That was a couple years ago. And I thought he was kind of fun, but I was not that good with him. And since then, obviously, over time, I've dabbled with him. And he's really fun to play. He can be very powerful, but you got to make sure you get your stuff done in the correct order and make sure you can get things going the right way. If you do not, if you miss... you missed your silence and you don't put your Null Zone in any specific nice place, or if you ult the wrong person, or if your visions is on a minion that's not close to anything else to jump around, or it's on the wrong champion, you're going to be just blowing all of your stuff and not doing any damage. And he's got a little bit of cooldown timer stuff, so you gotta wait. So you want to make sure you land your abilities there. We got into a little fight. I think I picked up another kill, and all of that fun stuff. So, all types of stuff. Chasing people around in our jungle as well. Gonna go back again. If you didn't notice, I did have a needlessly large rod that last time I was running around, and now I have finished off my death cap. That is the next main item I get, so now my ultimate and everything else is going to be doing tons of damage. Make it really easy to push lanes, which he actually does push lanes pretty fast, especially with that visions and the Null Zone and the Void. You can just chain all that stuff there. You can push a lane really fast. So I actually am pushing a lane right now, using all of that stuff, killing everything, and gonna take top lane pretty quick. Gonna head back towards mid and try to see if I can help the rest of the team. I'm gonna run into the Jace real quick, just throw down both of my things and just murder him real quick. Definitely not too tough. Especially when people do not see it coming like that. You're standing in a bush. It's so easy to get both of those off in sequence just to kill somebody super fast. They just don't ever see it coming. So this time while I'm back, I'm going to pick up a Blasting Wand and an Amplifying Tome, getting even more AP. Going to be building that towards my next item, which we will be finding out about in a little bit. I think our team just took Dragon one more time. Kog'Maw did. Here we're going to be moving up into mid. We're going to kind of initiate a little bit of a team fight. And I'm going to move up in here. And what am I going to do? I think my Dot's going to kill Jace. And I'm going to kill Karthus with something as well for another little easy double kill. And then all that fun stuff. So, skipping ahead a little bit. Now I am going to kill the Shyvana because she was chasing our Olaf. But yeah. That little skip ahead right there, that was because there was just a lot of blink time of us farming and no one really doing much. I don't think much happened, so... gonna keep pushing mid with Udyr. I think at this point we're gonna get a little too greedy and try to do a 2v5 just because I haven't really been dying at all, or much. So, also I focused the wrong person. I wanted to see how much damage I could do to her, which, with 2 abilities right there, that wasn't actually too bad. So, but gonna die, that's gonna happen. Also, another thing to consider, ignore the attempting to reconnect. I don't know why Low Recorder has been freaking out lately, but I think it was with the new patch, and that's just gonna pop up. I'm obviously not DCing during the whole game. But, all of that is to be expected. So that last time that I did go back, when I originally had that blasting wand and that amplifying tome, I put that towards a void staff. Tons of AP and tons of magic penetration is going to be great for people brewing and all of my stuff. And then the other time I went back before that you didn't see, I got a Cage's Lucky Pick and a blasting wand, which I will be building towards a Deathfire Grasp, which is going to be a very good item. Don't forget to use its passive, which I don't think I actually do this game. Maybe because I don't get it in time. Maybe that because the game ends, but or I just forget, which does happen occasionally. Here we're just kind of pushing in their mid. We're trying to group up. They're actually a pretty good team at kind of negating us from getting up and doing some tower damage. I don't know why our Cog isn't going up there, but he'd be doing some awesome damage. They kind of get some kills. I killed Jace real quick there too. Gonna kill Tristana there too while I get locked down by 3 of them, but once again that will happen. But now that I am dead and I'm back at base, I will be getting that Deathfire Grasp, which is gonna be very good. My AP is very, very high right now, and I got plenty of AP, and I got plenty of health for now, just basically. We just took Baron. Their Karthus was gonna look, and that looks a little bit like a KS, but whatever, I guess. Olaf is tired of me destroying everyone. So, yeah, but that was pretty bad. Here, we got a little bit of a skirmish going on. A little bit. Nothing too crazy. But yeah. What am I going to do? There's a dot on her, going to do a little damage. She's going to actually walk through my null zone. And she looked like she had plenty of health, but that does so much damage based off of their maximum health, since it's percentage damage. Her just walking through the edge of that for a split second killed her. So it does tons of damage. I think a lot of people kind of forget about it besides when they do chain it together with their ultimate. But if there's a big team grouped up in a fight, you gotta throw that down and just do the stupid amount of damage that it does. But now I'm back at base. Bought another blasting wand. Going to be building this towards my next item, obviously. Now, at this point in the game, the build's kind of getting rounded out. You're getting closer to finished with the build. Here I'm going to be moving up to blue buff. Oh, hey, look, it's Teemo. And I'm going to use my 2 abilities, and that's going to kill him. Because you're going to murder people with those 2 things late game. Now I'm getting chased by Shyvana. She's going to run away now because I'm doing way more damage to her than she thought. And I'm going to just simply take their blue buff like I intended to when I originally went over there. Jace is deciding to chase after me. Karthus was kind of coming too. My Udyr is going to be waiting for me, so I'm just let him stun him. We're just going to kill him real quick. So I'm going to drop down the null zone and do 2 things. He's going to pick up the final kill on that, but you best believe my 3 little things right there would have easily murdered him in half a second. So Malzahar does crazy damage once he gets his stuff going. But another thing, like I was saying, this last item, I'm building that towards an Abyssal Scepter. Now typically, this last item is kind of open for grabs on what you want. I'm going to do an Abyssal Scepter this game because they have the AP damage that I'm trying to avoid for the most part. Not too worried about their AD people. They're not really getting to me, or I'm killing them too fast for them to do any damage to me. But we do have the enemy team Karthus, whose ultimate is always going to do some damage, so I'm going to negate some of it that way. Also, the Abyssal Scepter is a good item. You do get plenty of AP from it. You also do get that magic resist, like I stated, and then it also does lowers the magic resist of nearby enemy champions, which is going to help me blow them up even faster. So, that's the item I'm getting there. Now, typically, if the other team had a fed carry or some other type of issue that I was going to be having with their team, or if they just are really, really strongly powered with a ton of attack damage, I would typically have bought a needlessly large rod and built Zhonya's Hourglass. So, since I'm not worried about that this game, it's the Abyssal Scepter. And from now on, you can also see I'm all glowy. It's because I am buying elixirs. So I have, what do I have, 700? Do I almost have 800 AP? Yeah, my ultimate right now is doing probably about 1,500 damage. So, and that's just the ult. Get down the null zone and you're going to be doing about 3k pretty quick. And I think I'm going to exercise some of it there. I'm going to get the assist to Kog'Maw. Our Kog'Maw got fed a little bit bottom lane early, so he's got a handful of kills too. I'm going to move in real quick, put the dot on Tristana. Tristana's going to die to the dot. The dot's going to jump over to Teemo, kill her, and then the dot is going to help pick up the assist on the Shyvana. So I'm going to pick up the easy triple kill. And with that, we're going to be able to end this game pretty quickly. I will put all of the stuff you guys need to know in the description to recap the build. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and put them in the comment section below. If you liked the video, I'd appreciate if you did that. If you subscribed, I also appreciate if you did that. But other than that, guys, I will just probably see all of you in the next build video.